We need to have a serious conversation about where we invest our money. Because payday is just around the corner and the economy isn't looking too good right now. Retail stores are going bankrupt because people have less money to spend in these places, which in turn is now leading to several thousand jobs being lost. Young people are struggling to afford homes, meaning that they're living with their parents for God knows how long. And despite reports from earlier this week, the UK has been battered and bruised by inflation over the last few years. So to cut a long story short, the cost of living is incredibly high right now. And it's also election year, so there's even more uncertainty involved. In such uncertain circumstances, what can we do? Well, I'll tell you what we can do. Let's look at investing our hard-earned paycheck into protecting ourselves from all this risk and all this uncertainty. Because I don't know about you, I don't like that noise. I want to feel a bit more comfortable when I sleep at night. Just FYI, as a legal disclaimer, I'm not a financial guy, I'm not an economist, I'm just a bloke on YouTube who's done his own research and is trying to spread that by helping other people see what's going on, the way I see it, and what we can do to help mitigate it. I'm trying to navigate my way through this just like you, so let's work together to try and make it a reality and come out the other side unscathed. Okay, so let's jump into it. The first asset I would recommend buying is gold. Now, I don't say that lightly. I don't say it as a cliche answer because I know many people will think, oh, that's just the egotistical symbol of wealth. You know, rich people have gold. But, you know, I've done my research, people. I've done my research. And it actually makes a lot of sense to buy gold because during times of inflation, if you recall during my earlier remarks where I mentioned inflation has been going up and has been rising in the UK and throughout the world, as a matter of fact, ever since the COVID-19 pandemic, gold usually maintains its value despite that inflation. So we could be seeing prices increase for everything in retail, in your grocery store, but gold will hedge your bets against that inflation, meaning your purchasing power is not impacted. So you will then be able to sell that gold for what it is worth. If you bought it for 100, inflation goes up tenfold, you would then be able to sell that gold for 1,000. Now let's just take a look at the gold price over the last year, from May 2023 to May 2024. This is by Bullion by Post. If we take a look at the gold price in May 2023, last year, we were at a grand price of $1,949. That was May 2023. Fast forward now to May 2024, we have a price of $2,354. This thing has gone up by nearly $400, and I'm pretty confident it's going to go up even further still, because if you remember what I said earlier about inflation, as inflation increases, interest rates set by your central banks like the Bank of England or the Federal Reserve in America, they also increase. Because the correlating link between the two is as prices increase, interest rates are also going to increase. Now, why is that the case? Well, if prices are increasing, governments and central banks, they will use an increasing interest rate as a weapon to counteract that. Because high interest rates means people are more likely to save their money in the bank as opposed to go out there and spend it. And if people aren't spending in the economy, it means retailers, grocery stores, anywhere that's selling goods and services, they will start looking at it thinking, well, we've got lower demand now. Customers aren't buying our products and our services anymore. That means we're going to have to lower our prices. That's the logic behind why there's a linear correlation between interest rates and inflation. So as inflation increases, interest rates increase, but when inflation falls, interest rates fall. And if we look at this article here from the New York Times, UK inflation falls to 2.3%, the lowest in 3 years. And this article was only published 5 days ago at the time of recording. So because the inflation rate has fallen, interest rates will also now fall too. I mean, you can see in this article by CNN just how much reliance there is on gold nowadays. You know, investors who expect the Federal Reserve to cut its benchmark interest rates, they're the main forces driving up prices. Led by China, central banks led by China are buying up a lot of gold. So there's clearly something in this. And even to a point now, if you remember what I said about the interest rates falling, CNN addresses this. When interest rates fall, gold prices tend to rise because bullion becomes more appealing. So, with these falls in interest rates, the prices are going to go up even further still. And I mean, people are starting to clock onto this so much now that even companies like Costco are starting to sell gold bars and silver coins. You go into the store, say I want a gold bar, they'll come out and bring it to you for like $2,300. It's becoming so common now and people are starting to wake up to this fact, including me. That's a funny thought as well, isn't it? I went in there for a $2 hot dog, came out with $2,500 worth of gold too. Wow. And for those of us who live in the UK, if you buy your gold directly from the Royal Mint, you don't have to pay any capital gains tax on them whatsoever. Capital gains tax is essentially a tax on any profit that you make from an investment. So the difference between when you buy and when you sell. For example, if you bought gold today at $2,500 and you decided to sell it when it was at $3,000, you would be taxed on that $500 difference. But you don't have to pay that because it says it on their website, so it's there for everyone to see. I don't think I need to say too much more. I would definitely look at investing in gold, but I would also look at investing in silver too. I look at these two precious metals in the following way. So, gold has just come out of childhood, she's just entered her teenage years. She hasn't had her growth spurt yet because she's just about to go through puberty. As soon as she has her growth spurt, we'll start to see that growth over time, but we have to go through the awkward stage to see that growth over time. And then eventually, once she's at maturity, you'll see a much, much higher yield of growth. Silver, on the other hand, is like the little sister to gold. She's still in the awkward stage. She's still crawling around at the bottom, on the floor. She's in the mewling and puking stage. We haven't seen any growth just yet. We need to get her up to speed, but there's a lot of room for upside and growth. And believe me, there is a lot of room for silver to grow. And as usual, similar to gold, I've written it down on my trusty notepad to let you know why silver has a lot of upside. Silver is an industrial metal. It's used in cars, TVs, batteries, all sorts. There's been a massive surge for demand for silver, but there is a supply problem currently. So, logic tells me if the supply starts to decrease and demand rapidly increases, the price should be set to increase too. The price has hit $30 recently. This is a big, big deal. Silver prices over the course of history, they've not really tended to be, I say history as in my lifetime, the last 20 or so years. They've tended to float around the mid-20 mark on average. But recently, it's gone beyond $30. That is a big, big deal. It's not done that for a long time. And with that, I think there is an indication as to what's to come. Similar to gold, we have the chart here by Bullion by Post reflecting the silver price in US dollars for every single troy ounce. This is since May last year. So, the price of silver in May 2023, let's take a look. Looking at around about $23 on the 31st of May 2023. Fast forward to this year, and you can see here mid-February, just look when we start to increase in value here. Look at the rate at which we're increasing. And to date, the value is now $31. It's gone up by $8. This article right here by Investing News Network, could the silver price really hit $100 per ounce? And if we look here, Keith, I have no idea how to pronounce that second name, so forgive me, and I'm not going to either. Anyway, Keith has said that he sees the white metal reaching $100 per ounce. So there is upside here, and it's starting to make headway in the national media. Even the author of Rich Dad Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki, he's turned around and posted on X, silver is going to hit $100 and then going to hit $500. Get some and protect yourself. Just in case you needed any more convincing, this article by mining.com addresses it. Global silver deficit to rise in 2024 due to higher demand, lower supply. We go to this one as well by carboncredits.com. They say the same thing and even have done a little graph for us demonstrating how much silver was supplied and how much silver is actually being demanded. So if we take a look at 2023, we can see that 1,002 million ounces of silver was supplied in 2023. However, the total demand of silver in 2023 was 1,143 million ounces. Over 100 million ounces more. We are at a point now where just about every smartphone, every car, every TV, every radio, every rocket ship, they all need silver as a component of their circuits. And as we move further and further forward in this new age, the age of AI, silver demand will increase. So there is, as mentioned before, there is a lot of upside here. So, in conclusion, I'm still figuring this out, I'm still learning, but I wouldn't be sat here trying to explain what I found out and try to help other people see what I found out unless I didn't believe in it. And I do believe in it. I mean, I am going to buy gold, I am going to buy silver. And I do believe also that we will hit record highs in both. I mean, that's pretty much the case for gold right now. Yes, it's had a little dip recently, but I do see gold hitting $3,000 by the end of this year. Now, don't quote me on that, please. Again, I'm not an expert, but I do believe it will hit $3,000. With silver, there is still not as much certainty in my head, but I can see a lot of upside for growth, and I do predict that we will see the prices rise eventually. Whether that happens this year, I'm not too sure, but I do think we will see growth in the long term, absolutely. But look, at the end of the day, it's about survival. It's an investment in your long-term sustainability. It's protecting the purchasing power of your money. It's investing in your future. It's accumulating generational wealth. Because with the rate at which they're printing money hand over fist, if we do see another if we see some form of economic Armageddon in the near future, you're going to want to make sure that you're in a place where your money is protected. Because if we do see banks starting to collapse, what's going to happen to your money that you've saved over there? It can't all just be in one place. We have to put our money to work. And that's what I'm doing. That's what I recommend others do as well. Whether you agree with me on this or not, please, do let me know in the comment section down below, because I am still learning and I'm keen to find out what everyone else thinks on this topic too. But let me know, man. So if you did enjoy this, hit that thumbs up button, subscribe down below, comment down below. I hope you all enjoyed this video. I hope you found it informative, educational, useful in some way, shape or other. And I look forward to seeing you all in the future. So thank you for watching. Take care, stay safe, and God bless. I'll see you all real soon.